Whenever I hear anybody, I've heard a couple people say
You
this
always
though.
make fun of me when
Wait,
I
wait,
say
wait, wait, wait. Whenever they say it as cumin, oh my god, dude, I cannot handle that.
Cumin?
I cannot handle it when you call it cumin. When you call it cumin, I'm like, holy shit, I'm hungry as fuck, bro. How do you call it cumin? You call
Is
it
that
cumin,
t-
don't you? You call it cumin. I think you called it cumin, Thompson.
I always call it every wrong name, man. Come on, I told you already, man. Stop making fun of me.
Aloha, everybody, from the YouTube channel. Welcome back to another podcast. I hope you guys are ready for some awesome topics today. We got Verz back. It's been a while since we have you, man. How you been? How's everything going?
Been very, very good.
Very
Away
good.
from Australia and all the game, but other than that, very good. Quarantine life has been treating me well.
Yeah? Okay, that's good. Get to spend some time with some family, right? Kind of chill a little bit. It's always nice. We got Once in Love back as well again. We got Thompson, of course, here. And, of course, Invictus. Thank you guys for joining me. Hope you guys are ready for some of the podcast topics. So, if you guys don't know, we did a double podcast last week. We're probably going to be doing a double podcast this week as well, right? Tuesday morning and then a Friday night one. So, they're both going to get uploaded to YouTube, which they have. So, make sure you guys check that out. Lots of extra content. And in light of the whole, COVID-19 situation, more people got a little bit more free time. So, we're going to be bringing more people into the podcast moving forward here. So, I hope you guys are excited for that. Okay, going into topic number 1. Is there an echo? Test. No.
Is it mine?
No, I thought I heard an echo. No,
Okay.
I thought I heard an echo. But all right.
Oh, I don't hear anything.
Topic number 1 here. This is a topic that a lot of people have been talking about. Beast Riders. Okay. I mean, we got to keep talking about it, right? For, even though I have one, so I disclose that. I do have one. I have the water one.
Oh, hey! High five.
High five. So Beast Riders, let's talk about them, right? Are they too OP? Obviously that we know they are strong, right? Are they too OP? Do we like it? What makes them strong, right? And explain to people that, maybe don't know Beast Riders really well, and you know Beast Riders well because you play against it or use it, why you think they're really strong. Just have a Beast Rider conversation here.
Oh god, here we go.
Yeah, I know.
I'll let the people who have one start first.
Go ahead.
You want to start, Thompson?
Do I want to start? Fine. If you ask me, I will start. But I feel like the ones we have to talk about more are the elemental ones, right? Because no one really have the light and dark ones.
We can dabble
So
into those later, but yeah, the main
So
element.
starting with the elemental ones, I hear this a lot, and people say, "Oh, okay, this unit has AOE attack bar pushback, AOE slow, and the second skill has AOE silence. Then the first skill could return effects. Then it has attack leader skill." So I'm trying to say that's Poseidon, by the way. But then, you could always exaggerate a monster by saying, "Oh, she is loaded with every kit, all the moves in the world." But to really understand a unit, you have to understand the meta as well, right? So then, if you say Barbara is good, Barbara is really good. I'll start with Barbara off. Barbara's really good because she's really good because she's flexible in any team. So she is the best out of all 3 of them, bar none. Because you could bring her. She's really popular into Gani. You could go Gani Hathor and then Sierra Barbara. She's great in there. She's great in any comp.
Hold on. There's an echo from somebody. Is somebody listening to it on speaker by chance?
I am.
Oh yeah. Do you have headsets? If you can put a headset in, that'd be great.
Yeah.
So there's no echo. Yeah.
Okay. So Barbara is the best out of all 3 of them because she's great in any comp. They don't know which direction you're going on how you're drafting. You can even first pick Barbara. You can second pick Barbara. People don't know what you're doing. Her cons is she's actually bad against Gani Hathor. A lot of wind units, almost any wind bruiser counters Barbara. You bring Diana in, Leo in, Ethna, Charlotte, even one of my favorite units I love using right now, Luis, Tyrannies. A lot of units counter Barbara. So you have to understand what counters it and what the pros and cons. That's Barbara. Barbara's great with Barbara's probably one of the better ones with Gani Hathor. It gives Gani Hathor that first turn. You could run it with double CC. So you see Barbara double CC a lot because it brings the damage you need for double CC. Savannah's really
we can
cool.
break it up. We can break it up. Let's talk about Barbara first, and let's let everybody talk about it as well, right? And then after that, we'll move on to Savannah, and then we'll let everybody talk about Savannah, and we'll move on to the next one after that. Yeah. So we'll focus on Barbara a little bit. Go ahead, Tyler.
To continue on to that, like,
Sure.
That is what makes her strong, though, right? Like, you're saying her counters are like these wind bruisers. What makes her strong is that she's just exceptional with them too. Like, you can pair her with any of those units, and it generally works, right? She's just so good at like first turn setup as well as like every other turn after that.
What do you mean?
Every turn she takes is impact. She can be used with those wind bruisers like really easily.
She's not good.
She can set up. No, she can be used with like on the same team.
Yeah, but why would you want to go like bruiser? You know, like why would you want to go like why would you pick Barbara, Diana? That just makes your team very like stagnant, right?
Yeah, but you can pick things like your Barbara and then like an Athena if you want. You have two fast strippers to set up, right? But they also both.
But then there's still a plethora of wind bruisers that counters Barbara, right?
I guess my point is like the strength of Barbara comes from the fact that she fits in all these teams, like you said, but also the fact that like you can pick a lot of her counters with her and it's still okay.
I don't agree with the pick a lot of counters with her because every monster you can kind of pick. You can't go like Tetra Gianna, you know, that doesn't work, you know?
The first thing you said was you can pick Gani Hathor with her really well, and then you immediately said Gani Hathor's really good against her. Like, that's just an example of what I mean, right? Like, you can use things that are good.
That's different because Gani Hathor is the meta.
Well, it's like for the people that aren't playing like a first turn, you know, control setup, if they're playing more bruiser, you know, some people take like a lot of people used to take, maybe not so much anymore, but like Shiho plus the Diana along with it to kind of like, you know, balance it out a little bit if you're playing more bruiser setup. But I agree with what Tyler's saying. Like, you can play Ciara Barbara, for example, and it just like balances out. But I mean, there really aren't. What also makes her better is the fact that there's not that many meta wind bruisers either, right?
There are a lot of meta.
There are a lot of wind bruisers.
Besides Diana and Tyrannus.
Like Ciara is really
Ciara's
meta.
a bruiser. Yeah.
But I'm saying take the Ciara with it, and then what else is there?
And Ciara's good against a lot of the wind bruisers as well.
Savannah.
Yeah, like Vanessa would be better, you know? It revives.
Like I feel like Barbara's like really strong. Like you said, going off of that, it really enables your comp to go and really enables you to move, which is nice. And you know, I just feel like when you're drafting, like, and you see a lot of fire units, like in your head, you're already, doesn't even matter what kind of fire units, you're thinking in your head like, yo, this is a Barbara game. This is a Barbara game. Like, no matter what fire
to be honest,
you see Vela, you see
Barbara's
Bird,
like,
whatever. Let's just like, that's a lot of fire. I need water. You know, I used to always think Water Monkey King, right? When I see a lot of fire. But now I'm like, yo, Barbara.
Barbara or Mo Long. Those are both great options against fire.
The thing is, Barbara kills all those water units too, like really easily.
Yeah.
Really good.
She kills like every water unit. If you have buffs, like you just strip ignore defense.
Right.
That's the problem. She has like a lot of things she can do. She can ignore defense. She
does all of them in bursts.
She can do so many things. But the worst thing for me is she actually boosts attack bar.
Yeah.
That is the worst thing for me.
Strip, ignore defense, attack bar boost, all in one skill.
Like I said, if you just sit there and you just name how powerful a monster's skill is, you could keep going on for days.
Okay,
but you just have to know why it's good and why it's bad, right?
Because it's not just her kit. Like we all know her kit is amazing, but let's talk about her base stats. 9.7 base
Even
kit,
if you do that,
845 base attack, 108 base speed. Like on top of the good kit, she has like some of the best base stats in the game.
Yes. No. The point is she's flexible in all teams and she's great with CC. You know, unlike the other two guys.
She does those things because of the other stuff, right? She's flexible because she has good base stats. She's flexible because she has a really good kit. So that's why it's relevant to talk about those things.
It's also much better with the Gani Hathor because of the fact that, you know, she brings the second skill, Fast Link, which is really OP to like focus down one unit. Like after everybody's like CC'd, she brings that basically shut down on the single target. Something's dead afterwards.
Yes.
It hurts, yeah.
That's as opposed to like Savannah, right? You can't really take her with Gani Hathor as much because, you know, it's the strip skill, but on its own, it doesn't really bring any utility. Barbara's utility is she keeps cycling.
You can't bring, I don't want to talk about Savannah yet, but you can't bring Gani Hathor with Savannah. Anyway, okay. We'll talk about Savannah later.
But yeah, her
Yeah.
third skill, man. That's like I can't believe it took us. You know, I feel like Barbara. Sorry, I feel like Barbara is like kind of like old school Molong. Remember when Molong first came out? And everybody's like, it's okay, it's not that good. And all of a sudden, yo, it's like Omega meta, right? I feel it's the same way. Like people like were like sleeping on this third skill for so long. People read it and they're like, it kind of sucks. I tested it, kind of sucks. And finally, people are actually using it. And they're like, hey, this is kind of. It's kind of nice, but I think it's also in fact of, you know, the meta shifting slightly a little bit as well that favors it even more. But her kit, like if you read it, I don't know how we didn't assume from day one that the kit would be nice, right? The good base speed with the boost and the strip is quite good. It's quite good.
I think people were looking at it like, oh, it's just a strip, but it's on a 5-turn cooldown. Like that was the
Right.
biggest complaint.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's like that skill goes off and sets up, you know, your combo. And the idea is they're not supposed to have a chance like after the first like turn or two, right?
Yeah,
By
so
the
why do you
way,
need third
I'm
skill,
not-
then? There's no reason.
I'm not saying she's not OP. In fact, I'm saying she's the best. Like a lot of people ask who's better, Barbara or Savannah. Barbara is clearly better. And I'm not saying she's not OP. I'm just saying that if you're saying she's not OP, she's not OP because of her counters, that's wrong because that's not what she excels in, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that we didn't touch up on of the reason why all of them are so strong is their stupid demounting passive. Like that thing is what literally makes them viable. Like if they did not have a demount, I think they would actually be kind of bad because it's hard to rune it the way you want to rune it without.
I
That,
don't
you
think
know,
the demount is OP.
really.
Really?
But
Really.
okay, but let me
It
finish.
depends. It depends.
Let me finish. So the demounting is not OP, but the cleansing itself from all buffs after it demounts is pretty OP.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, the
I
demounting is
agree because
OP.
that's the part where you get like stuck, right? If you have
Yeah.
one of them, they're like CC'd, and you need like somebody to hit, and you want to kill them.
Right.
It's like you can't do anything to them
It's-
that turn. You have to like
It's like if it's
You wake
armor
them up.
broken or has a bomb or has attack break or whatever clever stuff you put on it. Maybe Ganymede hit the Barbara, it's on glancing, anything, right? And then it gets off the mount, it's off it, and it turns around and kill a unit. It's like, whoa,
Right.
what
Right.
just
That's true.
happened?
That's true. But
it's so easy to misplay
But I
in
guess
that
I think-
situation.
I brought that up because sorry,
No,
you can
go
finish yours.
No, I was just saying that. So the dismounting is OP that way, but what's crazy is the remounting. Then maybe I should change the remounting is what's OP because like when you revive, I mean we've talked about this last week as well. You revive, you're back on the mount again, which is ridiculous, and then you come off, you're off the mount again. So it's
Like
I mean, not
it's
gonna
so
lie-
hard
like I
to
said,
play.
I
not
don't
gonna-
think. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say that I feel like if it didn't revive on the beast, it wouldn't be good. I think it kind of needs to be on the beast when you revive.
I agree with what Andrew said, and I feel
agree.
like that's why I want to bring up the problem isn't the demounting. It kind of makes the unit kind of special. I mean, like look at Tyrannies. He kind of dies, comes back with a little bit HP.
Mhm.
Anyway, but I feel like the problem with them is when they come back with full HP and they cleanse themselves from all debuffs. That's pretty big. I think everybody got stuck there before, right?
It'd be nice if they made Rocky able to kill through the passive, like the units that like just to introduce maybe a couple more counters. Like I think the mechanic's fine as is, but it feels like there's not so much counterplay to it.
That would be nice. That'd be a
Rocky
nice
can't
change.
kill them if
And the
they
units that are
cleanse
designed to
themselves.
What'd you say, Verse?
Rocky can't really kill them if they cleanse themselves. If they're gonna allow Rocky to kill them without dismounting, they're gonna have to let them not cleanse themselves, only dismount.
Yeah.
Because they're like a new character after they die. It's like something new. They're completely cleansed.
Yeah.
I think the dismounting is fine. It just the debuffs need to stay on the Beast Rider.
How do we feel about the dismounted rider, like itself?
That wouldn't
fine.
be
It does a lot of damage.
It's a glass cannon.
Yeah.
That's like the idea, right?
It hits really hard.
Yeah. So it gets 100% attack bonus for half its health and 15% of its speed,
Yeah.
I think
which
it's
I think
fair.
is a lot.
Yeah, but it's
It-
very
that's-
squishy though. So that's the
It
trade-off.
dies
right?
instantly. Yeah.
Yeah, but it
Yeah,
still
you
gets
just
a
have to, like,
turn.
literally hit
If
it
it,
with
if it gets a
anything.
turn, it does a lot though.
Yeah.
Like if it dies and gets a turn, it's gonna hit you really hard once.
Yeah, it's
Which
like,
is
it's like
pretty
that,
impactful
it's like the
where you
last
are.
second. It's like the last second like kill. But I think that's what makes it so good. It's like usually when you're drafting and you're using this Beast Rider, you're setting up where you're in a position already that you're like, I just need to do some damage and I'm done. You know, I've already like secured the battle here first turn and everything through my first turn rotation. So even if it dismounts, I just need it for that little extra damage. That's it. And she does the job really well.
It's not 100% attack; it's 100% more damage. So it's literally double your damage.
crazy, dude. It's
Also, you guys, everyone going into Barbara, like it's really hard to rune up a good Barbara as well. That's also another con.
wait, but
It's even harder to rune up a Savannah, dude. Savannah is so hard because she awakens into res. It's like that kills me. We
So-
can talk about that later.
IslandGrown, you're gonna say something?
So I was gonna say yes. Rooting up a very good Barbara is not easy, right? Because she needs a lot of stats. But I think if you root up a crap Barbara, you can still use it, man.
It's still not bad.
My Barber is so
It will
shit,
still work.
dude. My Barber is so shit, dude. Let me tell you the stats right here, dude. My Barber's like plus 160 with like 4k HP, dude, and like 700 attack. And it
Wait,
fucking
plus 160 speed?
yeah, I didn't.
That's
I
pretty
didn't-
good.
No,
what set?
No. It's a Swift set, dude. It's not a Vile set.
But
It's just
still,
whatever,
like-
dude. It just got
Okay,
got
okay.
slapped with whatever runes just to experience Barbara. And I can't imagine if like I took the runes from other units and put it onto Barbara, how much OP it would be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like my argument is that yes, it can be very good and excel really good runes, but it's also so good with just runes. You know what I mean? Like just runes. That's it. So she's pretty strong. She's pretty strong. Barbara's the water one that we're discussing. All right. Any other things that you guys want to touch up on Barbara? We can move on to the next one. Yeah, Masha or Savannah. Okay, touch up on
Swifter Bio Thompson
Huh?
for Barbara.
I think
Swifter
so.
I-
Bio.
Well, obviously for me, Violet, come on, man. You
Well,
know
for,
who you're
for the
talking to.
average for the average non-Bio Gianna, he
Yeah, but I
Wait,
want to.
Wait, you still go Vile? You go Vile on this?
Of course. Why? Like, it's the only way.
would you say if you can't get a 280 like a 280 Bio Beast Rider, would you go?
I would go Swift. Yeah.
Cool.
Interesting.
All right, so for the general public, then Swift is the best, I would say.
wow, Vile, really? Like when you're
I
in
mean, I see the
G3
merits.
when you're in G3 and you're playing against those top guys, that's enough speed for you because you know sometimes people are like, oh, it's a fast unit, gotta make it as fast as possible. But really, it comes down to how fast you want the unit. You're okay with it pegging that speed because obviously we know your Swift sets are faster. That's all the speed that you need. You don't need to be absolute first, like especially when you're drafting against some of those guys that are taking other stuff. Really.
I have
Okay.
units that move before her to protect her as well.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, I was just curious. Thanks.
True. Okay. Interesting.
I wanted to touch up on, like, it's really easy for a new monster to come out, and some people find success with it, so everybody says it's OP. So, like, instead of saying it's OP or it sucks a lot, I wanted to touch up on its pros and cons, you know?
Okay.
And if people understand its cons, maybe not a lot of people will say, oh, that unit is busted, broken, before they jump into it. So, like, hopefully sometimes if someone picks like Barbara, you guys will pick like Gani Hathor, Diana, Xingzhe, Charlotte. And list goes on. There's a lot of counters for Barbara. You just have to use your head and pivot, triple threat.
Okay.
Depends on the team. Sometimes there's not really a counter. If you don't have the Hathor,
When is it not a good time to pivot?
if they're the one bringing the Hathor plus Barbara, and they have like another good, solid premium LD, or maybe another premium strip. I don't know. Hathor Barbara is tough to counter because people take like into Hathor, for example. I would take like Daphnis, right? Plus another speed lead, but then Barbara all of a sudden counters like those. You start to bring fire stuff, but Barbara really hard counters the fire.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully you have a Tyrannese, then you're fine. I wish I had one.
And also the fact that she can be built swift, they don't need a speed lead and they can still move first if you're not able to hit like 300 speed.
Segueing into Savannah, I feel like that's where Barbara excels in. Like, I feel like Savannah is one of those monsters that really requires double speed lead. Like, single speed lead is not good enough for Savannah. You have to run it with double speed lead. And at least Barbara, you could run it with at least one speed lead or no speed lead. It just depends on how's your playstyle,
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay. So what more about Savannah though? Let's talk about her. Let's talk about her implementations, or if she's you even see people using her. I don't see it as often, but I know it's a solid unit, right? I mean, let's be real. All the Beast Riders.
She's more of a later.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, all good. she's more of a, as Thompson said before, she's more of a later pick, like a fourth or fifth pick. Not so much, you can throw her in early. She's really good with Chiwu. I don't have a Chiwu, but a lot of people that use Savannah run her with Chiwu, Hathor, and then they add in another maybe first turn damage dealer or snipe unit like a Daphnis. And the idea is you have to get the skill 3 off turn 1 somehow. So you need to bring the AoE strip threat plus a couple others.
I see.
There's only one team that I've seen that like consistently uses it well, but it's pretty premium, so I don't know if it's like really fair to bring it up. I was playing on Valley's account, and Marantino and I were talking when I was rerouting it, and the team is Chiwu, Triton, Nephthys, Savannah, and you pick a crit damage Chiwu or a crit damage Gani, or you pick a Rika, or you pick like a Josephine or a Shiho or something, because you have 2 speed leads, 2 high fast strip threats, and you have attack bar pushback on 2 units, and then you can reset if you want. But like
you could almost slot in a different defense breaker besides Savannah into right there, and you'd be fine as well.
So the reason the Savannah works so well is, one, you have the high base speed, which sits well with the double speed lead, but then you also have speed, like you have speed buff on your team. So when your whole team's running, like you have a 280 plus Despair Triton and like a 300 Chiwu, you're also like lapping people really hard because you have speed lead and attack bar pushback, and if you get your defense break and damage, right? Plus you also have the like second life kind of thing, and if you're using Gani, you can cycle your Gani and Savannah skill 3s really well.
Yeah, that's a pretty premium team though, so I don't know.
I've seen a Bobble third or second pick Savannah like for 30 wings back to back, and he was doing very well with her.
What was he
He
using?
liked-
It wasn't
He was using Chiwu Gemini, right?
Chiwu for sure.
Oh,
Yeah, but
without a
Then it doesn't have to be
You
a
need
Hathor. Any damage dealers that go after. Doesn't have to be control teams.
So
Maybe like a Daphnis or anything that will just finish off after the defense break.
Having your skill 2 strip opportunity is also really strong for her, because it's like a full strip. It's not just like 1 or 2 debuffs, or 1 or 2 buffs. You can strip everything.
right.
until it doesn't land because it's only one hit, like a single Acres check. But
Mhm.
in theory, yeah, she's really good. I know it doesn't apply for most people, but with Gianna, I've seen like a lot of like Zephyrius, for example. He runs Savannah, Gianna, and the Savannah's purpose is like to really hard counter the water and the water Gianna counters, like Tetra, for example. You just pump in extra damage, and if they go passive, they don't really stand a chance. So that's what she's good for.
That's why the team works really well for Valley's like Nephthys setup and Marantino's Nephthys setup.
Yeah.
Because they bring the Tetra, and if they don't ban the Savannah, they just die. If you have the crit damage Gani, you can also kill the Tetra the same way.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Do you like Savannah? Do you guys like Savannah? Do you think she's like
She's
okay?
really-
She's like too much.
It's just cool.
I think she's fine.
She's
I think she's
okay.
balanced just
Yeah.
because it's hard to. She requires.
She what? You cut off. She requires
Requires.
setup. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. She does require setup. I mean, if you have two strippers, you're running two strippers. Yeah, she's gonna be great. Right, she's definitely gonna be great. So Gianna users and whatnot will definitely enjoy that as long as you got two strippers there. Okay. Last one of the elementals here. Fire one. Yeah. What you thought of Masha's? This one was the one that got released and was literally the most talked about when it was released, and now it's fallen down a little bit more. It's still very strong, obviously, but it's fallen under that Barber here. What's it to talk about for Fire Beast Rider? Thompson.
Why do you ask me about Savannah?
You-
Okay,
you've
fine.
been-
All right, never
you've been-
mind.
no,
Savannah,
no.
the Savannah topic is over.
Oh, okay,
won't-
Savannah. I thought
talk
you
about
started
Savannah,
off.
it's
I thought
It's
you
okay.
started off Savannah though. Okay, finish off with Savannah. Finish
well,
the Savannah
like-
and segue to the Masha then. Perfect.
Like
know
I
you
said
were
about
waiting.
Savannah earlier, you have to bring her. She excels really well with double speed lead, and if you just bring one single speed lead, it's not good enough for Savannah because like everyone's pretty fast nowadays in RTA. So like the teams with like Chiwu, Gemini, Nephthys, Chiwu, and just like or Gemini, Nephthys, it's like she needs a team to work around her. Unlike Barbara, where you could bring her in everywhere. Other than that, she's really good with like a high damage monster like Daphnis, or she's just really good with like double CC. So like she doesn't have the flexibility of Barbara, but she has you need to bring her in with a comp. Yeah.
I've
And she
seen
needs
some
to have
interesting.
really good runes as well. Also, her awakening is kind of bad. Right.
What is she
Speed?
awakening to?
Like
Resistance?
Barbara?
Resistant. Oh wait.
Resistance.
Oh, you're talking about. Oh, you're
No,
talking
not
about
Barbara.
Savannah.
Savannah.
Savannah has
Savannah
resistance.
Please change her. Please change her awakening. It's so hard to ruin her, man. I've tried.
She
Like,
might be insane
So,
if they gave.
so what if they change
Ridiculous.
her? What if they change her awakening so that her
Crit rate.
S1 will heal for
no, just give her a stat. Give her a stat, please.
I see what you're
Everything else gets a stat.
Okay, Thompson got
Yeah,
that one pretty quick.
I think her awakening should be crit rate just to mix it up a little bit, but
Or accuracy.
her awakening's
Accuracy would
weird.
be nice.
I was just memeing on Leica, but yeah.
Accuracy would be nice. That's what I lack the most.
Accuracy
Yeah,
would be nice,
accuracy would
but
be
it'll be the same as Barbara because Barbara awakens to accuracy. One of them awakens to speed. This one should awaken just for I don't think crit rate won't be that bad. Yeah.
I mean, I'd take it. It's one less stat to have to get. I could just find more accuracy somewhere else and less crit rate.
A couple things counter Savannah. You could bring like high defense monsters or defense buffers that counter Savannah. You could bring triple revenge bird that counters Savannah. You could bring in Leo, it counters Savannah.
Leo's
Or
really good
just,
against all of them.
or
Leica.
Leica's good.
Leo, no. Actually, Leo's not that good against Masha because
Masha?
even though
Yeah.
Leo's there, and Leo's okay against Barbara because Barbara has an attack bar pushback, but Savannah is very susceptible to it. But
I guess I'll wait till we move into Masha for.
Sure.
okay, cool. A couple more cons and pros of Savannah. Yeah, she has counters. Because her moves come with a clause, like you're not armor broken unless your attack deals more than their defense, as your attack is more than their defense. So like if I bring Laura in, Laura's a decent counter against her because Laura gives defense buff, I guess. Wow.
Yeah, same with Tyrannus.
Laura,
the defense,
OP.
Tyrannus as well.
the defense base cleaves.
Yeah.
First of all, on Savannah, can I ask you guys a question? Do you think it's
Yeah.
fair that she speed buffs before she pushes back? Like, do you think that's like a good order of things, or do you think it should happen afterwards? Because giving herself speed buff pushes her speed well over most units, so it's very unless you're running slow violent, it's really hard not to have more speed than the enemy.
I think
that's
it's fair
intended.
considering. I think if it didn't, it'd be really hard to hit those conditions a lot.
Yeah.
Just
Okay,
thinking
yeah,
about it,
and also imagine you're the guy with the speed lead or the double speed lead. The Savannah have to contest your speed leads too, so that puts a lot of pressure on Savannah teams. So speed lead counters Savannah as well. Yeah, so that's my take on Savannah.
Okay, so she's in a good spot then, I guess. If you want to use her, you can construct a team, and like you said, the team kind of enables her. Whereas, Barbara, the reasons why she's so good, and we talked about it, is because she enables the team. So, okay. I don't know if you want to go ahead and start it up. You can segue right into Masha then.
Masha is probably the highest damage dealing beast rider out of all of them, fair to say. But she has more cons than she has pros, Yeah. She's really good with some of these attack bar boosters. I think she's best with the light Neostone agent, right?
Dude, there's an interesting comp with Ileana, Masha, Odin, Bastet. If you run the Odin too, because the Ileana not
the
only
Odin's not
synergizes
bad.
with Masha,
Vanessa in
but
that
it gives
comp?
Odin the 5 stacks.
Yeah. Also, Savannah, I could imagine. I've seen people run Savannah slot 1 through 5. I've seen people run Barbara slot 1 through 5, but I've never ever seen people run Masha first pick, second, or third pick Masha. So Masha is definitely a slot 4 and 5.
Yeah.
It's bad against a lot of water units as well. Even some free to play water units are really good against Masha.
Does it still work well with Yunhong? I remember watching that when it first was released. I was watching YCuz use it quite a bit with Yunhong. It was kind of fun, right? You get to do a lot of damage. But is it?
It is.
still
It
good?
seems like Lauren is better with Younghong than Masha.
Okay.
Wait, what's better? I couldn't hear you.
He said
The light cowgirl.
Oh, okay.
Just
Why not
because
use
of
both?
attack bar pushback, slow armor break, versus Masha just armor breaks. Oh, great base speed,
Right. True.
I personally never had trouble with Masha. I don't know, maybe because my draft runs a lot of water units.
You
But
run
I've
the
never-
Water Monkey King, right?
Yeah. So
Oh.
I'm not really Masha never gave me any trouble, but the wind and the water one are just way completely on a different level from her. She's just damage. And she's not scary unless there's a Vanessa with her. Other than that, they're not really hard to deal with.
Yeah, she does a lot of
She's
damage.
usually paired up with a Vanessa though.
Or a Bastet, or both. Vanessa, Bastet, then you fill the Masha for the
Bastet isn't as bad as a Vanessa. I usually steal the Vanessa's first pick last couple of games I've been playing, like last couple of weeks.
But I've seen Masha in the last couple of days. I don't know if you guys have seen this because you guys play in higher ranks, but
I might have seen it.
you remember the old? Okay, you don't even play RTA. I'm just kidding. Do you guys remember the Elsharian like route cleave that people were using for a while? The like really
Yeah,
fast
some-
snowball team.
Yeah.
People
I
have been
occasionally see
picking.
it.
People have been picking the Masha in that team instead, and it does a ton of damage so fast. If they get a turn, your whole team will just die one by one.
Wow.
Instead of like
because
the
you
Odin.
output so much damage. Every team up, if it pulls the Masha, it's gonna be like 35k.
Wait, are you saying they take it instead of the Odin or the Elsha?
Yeah, or the Elsharian, because they don't need to strip the buff. They just do more damage because they have so much.
Yeah,
attack
that
armor.
is pretty scary.
And if you have any units off will, you just instantly die.
Hmm.
Because the defense rate comes out because the Masha can move before you.
Yeah, I guess the Masha just does a lot of damage and just has good base stats. Like 123 speed is kind of nuts. Like just any unit
I
with
mean,
123
Masha's
speed.
kinda-
Just,
Raise
I
the
know
speed.
yeah, it's
I think
crazy.
Marsha's kind of at a rough place because of daftness. There's just daftness. It just does what Masha does, but better, right?
Yeah, you want that turn one, that slot turn one, not slot one, but that turn one, right? Would you choose a Masha or you choose a Daphnis, right? So between those
Yeah,
two,
even
when you drop
I
it.
mean-
even the Young Hong users, like would you rather have Young Hong Masha or Young Hong Daphnis? It's like, oh, just Young Hong Daphnis, Even if Daphnis misses, I still prefer Daphnis more.
I mean, the good thing though is like depending on like if you care about like G3, Siege, and Guild Wars, like all of them, or whatever level of Guild Wars Siege you're at, like at least every single Beast Rider is viable for like really top tier meta for
True,
that area of the game.
true.
So even Masha, like all of them have a viable a viable defense to build.
True.
Do you think it's kind of cool that like all of these units are like that Masha is just an uncontested pick? Like, do you feel like if you had one, you could use her strictly because she's an uncontested pick?
I want to kind of follow up on Invictus's thing
Yeah, go ahead,
before
go
I
ahead,
go
go
up
ahead.
on you. I think the Beast Riders are pretty good Guild War defense monsters also because they're on Violent 1 and 2. Their second skill absorbs attack bar, right? So it's like it boosts
Yeah.
the chances of Violent procs. So yeah.
And you can't really Lucian it, or you sort of can, but they get the extra life, so that makes it a little bit harder.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Savannah sounds pretty fun for Guild Wars defense, or Guild Wars in general. I like one of those to mess around with. Okay.
Yeah, she fits right in.
So
Sorry, Tyler, what were we gonna say? I just wanted to snowball.
No, that's fine. That's fine. It's totally fine. I was wondering if you feel like if you were to pull a Masha, and let's just like theoretically say you could fully skill her, do you think you'd build her just because it's an uncontested pick and you could pocket pick it against people? Like, do you think she's strong enough to be like a good pocket pick?
You're asking the wrong guy about a pocket pick, man. He has everything. Why would you want the Masha?
his pockets are not really pockets, my friend. His,
I mean,
his pockets
that's
are
kind of-
pouches.
okay.
He pocket picks
Hear me
fucking
out,
Arda
hear me
Mill,
out.
okay?
Hear me out.
He pocket
Hear me out.
picks
Hear me out.
Arda fucking Mill, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy.
You fucking pocket pick an
Hear me out,
Arda.
hear me out.
Why would he care
If-
about Masha?
If Thompson thinks that Masha is good enough to be a pocket pick in some cases for him, that means she actually probably is because he has everything.
So basically,
right?
is it worth the
He's
runes to
willing
have?
take it on.
Right? Is it worth the runes to have on the
It's
side
like
as a
if,
pick?
if you have a well balanced account, like you have a good fair monster box, do you think it's actually worth building? Yes or no?
I think in that slot where Masha's good at, Lauren is just way too much more consistent. Because like imagine you bring like Daphnis is good against people on will, but Masha is good against people not on will. We could agree on that. But what if they're just wacky and they're on will? Like the Vert is on violent will. Who knows, right? Then all of a sudden you just have Lauren to strip and armor break versus Masha just like, oh, what do I do in this situation, right? So I think the Lauren's still more consistent. The Daphnis is still better. And it's just hard for Masha to survive.
Daphnis
like
not a good
this.
comparison because you would slot Daphnis in way earlier, so it's not that pocket pick, right? Feel like
Well, I
I
mean, you
think
can.
people
You can
pick-
pick them up.
That's true. That's
right?
true.
Right, and even the Lauren, most of the times Lauren's is drafted way earlier. So what about a 4 or 5 slot? Like, does it
4
fill
and
in there?
5, people could still last pick Daphnis or Lauren, in my opinion. But
Does
like,
it make it that far usually? Usually it doesn't, and by that time, it's
I don't
usually
know.
not that
Daphnis,
good.
it does because like if you second pick Daphnis, people just slam like Tyrannies or Triana. Everyone knows that. But
Actually,
I can see Daphnis in slot 2 or 3. I wouldn't build a Masha. I would play with a Masha, but I don't think it's anything
So
too
maybe a
crazy.
better question is that if you were gonna slot in the Masha, right? What are you slotting it in against? Like, what are you against that you'd be like,
Like
oh,
I said,
this is Masha.
Antris, Vertihill, those monsters that it's not on will. Most of the wind monsters are on will, so it's kind of hard.
Right.
does
Yeah.
she do enough? Does she do enough versus like the high support Tyrannus teams, like the non-Artemil teams? Let's say you're running like the Vanessa, Triana, Tyrannus, like Verd and stuff like that. Like, does she do enough damage versus that?
I don't know, because you lose turn 1. Because turn 1 they're all on will, so you just turn 1 you do nothing, and then like turn 2 and 3 hopefully they have no immunity. I
Okay,
guess.
let me ask this as well. How do you think you should build it? Because like in my mind for Masha, it's always going to be like attack, crit damage, HP, violent will, like a bruiser style.
Uh-huh.
I think she's got to be speed, crit damage, attack. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
She's got to be fast.
So like how much HP though? Like are you building a bruiser or are
Probably
you
around
building...
like 20k if you can.
Yeah. So standard.
So like what
bruiser.
kind of speed are you looking for? Like are you looking for like 270 then?
I would say with her base stats, like 270 is probably doable. That's what I would like.
That's not that
Yeah.
hard. That's like a +1. Was that +1?
Plus 140.
Yeah, plus 140. That's pretty easy.
Plus 147.
Yeah, that's pretty easy. We're getting like good stats. Probably for higher level players for sure.
I mean that's basically just your Aegir runes. That's really what it is. Like old Aegir runes.
oh,
For
true.
you guys, for you guys maybe that's like tier 3 or 4. For me that's like my tier 2s.
Yeah. All right. Let me ask this question about the Beast Riders. Now that we've kind of discussed all the Beast Riders, except for Light Dark, we could discuss Light Dark later. It's not too crazy. I honestly feel the Elementals are the main topic here. But do you feel they're OP? Like, what do you feel about it? Like, let me start off with my opinions. I feel that they're cool, right? They're different. It's nice to see different things being picked in, and I don't feel like they're that overly powering. And I like to compare it to like old Mo Long, or I like to compare it to like some of those old units that were exceptionally like ridiculously OP. I like this change up, and whether or not people start to use it more and it actually becomes super OP is another story. But I kind of like it, right? It shakes things up a little bit. I don't know.
Before we call it OP, next time you see a Barbara, try bringing Diana in there and tell me if it's OP or not. Before you could say Savannah's OP, try to contest their speed lead and then tell me Savannah's OP, right? Bring a counter in there that it cannot be like. I'll give you an example. I say Hathor's OP because Gianna's OP, Artemil's OP because sometimes you bring counters into Hathor. Oh my god, it doesn't counter. It just Hathor still goes through and you still lose, right? Those like slot 1, 2, and 3s where you give the opponent no information of how your composition is going are OP. For me, like they still need more testing to see how overpowered they are, but they're pretty usable.
They're strong, right?
Yeah.
Tested strong picks. So is that a good thing? That's a good thing for the meta then. That's a good thing for the health of RTA, or no?
But I feel like as muscle memory and people start getting more of these type of units, people will start understanding the counters and pros and cons of the Beast Riders and understand how to beat it more.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say they're OP, but I'm gonna say they're really good. They're top tier units, especially in this meta. You can pick them a lot. I can't say they deserve a nerf, but maybe just a fix or just a balance, like I don't know, not something that would change them completely. But what Thompson said is when they die, they just don't cleanse. That's the only thing that would make them like that. I guess it's a nerf because that would hurt them a
That's
bit,
a nerf.
but they're still usable.
Yeah.
They're still good. They'll be really good still.
Wait,
I'd still
when
pick
they
it if I
dismount,
had
they
one.
keep all of their statuses.
Yeah.
That's so shitty, dude. Don't do that, dude. Don't do
Okay.
that, dude. I like it, dude. I like to come off and have nothing on my head.
I think
dude.
if they want to nerf them and they think the dismount is too OP, then that's the direction it should go. Instead of just completely not dismounting or whatever,
Right. Okay.
I think there's only one thing that I really have that's kind of an issue with the Elemental Beast Riders. I think that the attack bar push, like gain from Barbara, is like a little bit too much. I think capping it at 50 is a lot. I think if they kept it at like
Yeah,
35,
I was gonna say
50% is a lot because it's 70. So if you strip 2 buffs, it's 70% ignore defense, and then you get attack bar based on how much damage you deal. I know it's conditional, but I feel like that 50% is a lot. You know, I'm not saying like take
Especially
it away.
since-
I'm just saying like drop
Yeah.
15% maybe, because 50% is literally a frigate buff. Like, that's a lot of attack bar.
Yeah, but it depends on how much damage you do, dude.
But they're gonna be hitting
ignore
something like
70%
they're gonna
defense.
they're gonna hit the damage dealer. They're gonna hit like the squishiest unit.
I think Barbara's fine, dude. I have it. Let's talk about the other ones, man. Fucking A, dude.
To be honest, if you pair up a Barbara with like a first turn armor breaker like Lauren, and Barbara goes in on that armor broken unit, it gives you a lot of attack bar. But most of the time, Barbara's moving first, and you're not getting that much attack bar.
You're getting
You
just
don't
enough
need that
that you're
much though. If
enabling
you're
your
taking
team.
the first turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, all you need is to let the rest of your team move, especially if
Right.
she's like really fast and moving first. You can use her as an attack bar booster.
So like even if you're like you're boosting 50, is that that big of a difference from 30 with the team that you're bringing in? You're still gonna be enabling your team, right? But the thing is that if what Tyler's probably saying though is like the amount of damage you gotta do proportionate to getting that 30% has to be more, then yeah, you might be kind of in trouble now if it's only gonna be like 10 or 15, right? You might not actually be able to keep up. I don't know if you can keep all your units speed tuned that closely to be speed tuned to like a 10 or 15 boost, right? So that might be a little bit more troublesome. That would definitely be a nerf though, for sure. But
So the other kind of cool thing is, and I said 70% ignore because generally you'll only ever see 2 buffs on first turn because your barb moves first or you're moving fast. But if you strip 3 buffs, it's going to be full ignore because it's a full strip. I'm pretty sure it's a full strip, right? Removes all beneficial effects, and it's 35% per beneficial effect removed. So like, it could be more.
wow, so what you're saying is we need a new unit that can buff your opponent. Holy shit, dude. I'm gonna give my opponent the buff and then 100% ignore turn 1 with Barbara. Holy smokes. I hope they make that.
Shot that bass so easy.
I hope they make that, dude. Give a random buff to your opponent. Oh my god. Alright, anyways, very good discussion here on Beast Riders. It looks like we got shed some more light. Now that we're talking about it more, maybe some people will start maybe dusting off. If they haven't already heard of the Beast Riders being good, maybe they'll dust off their Beast Riders, give it a shot, and we'll get more people trying it out, right? We'll discover new combos, new counters, and see if they're just strong and they have very easy counters, or they're actually OP and maybe need some tweaking in the future, right? Which is fair. Moving on to topic number 2. Topic number 2, okay. So this is a different kind of topic, it kind of segues off, but Comtuous recently made a video, and one of the videos they made on the Summoners War channel was about you know, shedding light on some of the things that happens at the developer's office, like how they come up with, you know, ideas, how they do things in the office. They even talked about, you know, the Lucas thing that happened and stuff like that. What are your thoughts on videos like this? Like, you know, do you think they should do more of them? And if you could ask them some of these questions to the devs straight up, what would you want to ask? Because maybe we can ask it here and they might do videos and answer it on future videos if they do it like that. If you guys haven't seen it, you guys can check it out on the Summoners War YouTube channel. If you're watching from YouTube, I'll try to put the link down below in the description for you guys to watch it. It's a really nice video, really fun to watch through.
I mean, my first reaction is anything like this PR wise, like there's really no connection, it feels like, between us and like the dev's mind of like what they're trying to do. We get like a patch out of nowhere is basically what happens, and we all read it and we like talk about it ourselves, but it feels like there's like a disconnect. And I know we've talked about like there's the culture, right, of like the Korean company themselves. They're very like secretive, they're very private, they don't really disclose, and it's not really an open relationship, I guess. But I feel like a lot of us would want to hear the thought process behind the devs more often. I mean, it's nice to know like what direction they want to take us, and it's nice to know like why. I like personally hearing like why they went wrong. Was it like laziness, or did they actually like intentionally, you know, think something was genuinely going to be turning out one way and it went another direction? Or yeah, I'd love more transparency. So I think videos like this are good.
Okay. What about you, Tyler? Did you see it? And what are your thoughts on it?
I did. And okay, I want to preface this. You know that I always push for like more of a relationship with the developers,
Of course.
and more for like I want them to talk to us. But I also think that there's a very there's a fine line of expectation for those things. I think that there are a lot of things that I would actually prefer them not tell us, because it creates a lot of false intentions for people, right? So if we got, you know, a notice that said, we want to take the direction away from the speed meta and try to work towards something else, right? They would say that. They would also say, you know, this is just a preliminary notice of something we're trying to do, something we're thinking about. We're not quite sure if that's going to be what's going through. There are going to be a ton of people who just take that as, okay, this is what's going to happen. They're changing the speed meta, like 100%, right? And so if it doesn't happen, people will be disappointed, right? People will just be disappointed because they have the expectation that because they heard that, it has to be true.
Yeah,
right?
Comptos doesn't like to disappoint people, so that's definitely very true. Very, very true.
Exactly. That's why I like the idea of having videos like this where they kind of tell us, hey, we made a mistake with this. This is what we intended to do. This is kind of how it happened. We're sorry for that. I don't think that we need to be able to ask for everything from them. And I don't think they should give us everything in that sense either. I think it's a lot of us want more. And I can understand that want for more because I want it more. But, you know, I don't think they need to constantly be telling us, you're answering all of our questions about things.
So you're advocating more for the after, you know what I mean? Like after things happen, maybe a video explaining, you know, their thought process on why they did this after, instead of videos on or answering what they plan to do in the future. Is that clear?
Not exactly. Oh, it's really windy. We kind of get those, right? We get the dev notes, right? We get dev notes that say this is kind of what we want to do. And they've been really good with them the last couple of months, right? We got the RTA dev note, which talked about the point system change. We got the RTA dev note that changed about the way they wanted to change violent runes. You know, they talked about having RTA decks and all those things. They told us all those things before they wanted to put them out. And they gave us a little bit of time to make sure like we liked it, we wanted it. And then it was released into the game. I think that is the effective method that they have given us already. I don't think we need to necessarily get too much more information about things that aren't like super game changing, right? They can release things or like give us a note like a week ahead and we'll see it. If it doesn't work out, I mean, we're basically the like community QA team, are we not? Like as streamers, I feel like that's kind of what we do, right, whether it's intentional or not, right? We gather the opinions of the people that watch us and, you know, our own opinions, our guildmates, etc., and we voice them here on the podcast, right? I mean, they did say in the video they have 80 members for QA and 11 of them work on Summoner's War, right? True. There's only so much that they can do, right? I think there's a bit much of an expectation that the game is going to be perfect, quote unquote.
Okay, fair enough.
I guess all in all, what I'm advocating is that I think they're doing a really good job with what they're doing right now, and I don't want to push for more because I'm happy with it.
Okay, it's a solid opinion. What are you going to say, Invictus?
I was going to say that I mean, is it that hard to do like a monthly, you know, dev, like note from the developer, you know, community message or some community Summoners War update from the devs on a monthly basis just to like kind of indicate what, the status of what they're moving towards is, because sometimes like the way that people in this community act, like, we have some frustrations, especially when it comes to like RTA. Like as far as patches have gone, for example, like the past several balance patches have been, I mean, we can all pretty much agree, not meta changing, pretty lackluster. So it doesn't feel like we're being heard in some areas, and it doesn't really, I don't really get the impression that I'm gonna ever feel like I'm going to get some sort of satisfaction from a future balance patch that's going to address our concerns. It feels like it's being ignored, not so much received. And I'd like to just know, like, if they think the meta is fine, just say it, but not leave us wondering whether or not they're going to actually make like a big patch.
So maybe more of a confirmation that, hey, like they hear us, but it's nice to know if they hear us or not, basically, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I ask Andrew a question here?
Sure.
Do you feel like they don't like the current meta? Because I feel like it's implied well that they're actually comfortable with the way things are, right? The one time the meta was so bad was when they made the huge like nerf changes. Remember, they made a huge. They've done 2 huge nerf changes, or I guess 3 if you count season 1 to season 2. Right. The first one would be when they changed the way violent works in RTA. They made it so that you couldn't indefinitely violent proc. It was limited to 1. The second one would be the Leica nerf, and the third one would be the big Molong nerf, right? And then now, I guess, with the violent changes in the point system. Those are like 3 really strong indications of when they said, okay, we don't like the way the game is going, so we need to make a big change to it, right? Every other time except for that, I feel like they have heavily implied that the game is in a good place. Molong and Twins Nerf were very close together, I believe. Weren't they like the same time? Or am I wrong with that?
Wait, what do you mean?
Which
When
two?
Molong and Twins got nerfed?
No, they were separated by
Molong
quite a long
They're
time.
close. Were they?
Yeah, Molong was quite a long
No,
time.
Molong was a long time ago.
Yeah, trust me.
Like a
Anything you
year
need to
and
know
a
about
Okay.
Molong, you tell
Okay.
me. I know. Okay, no problem. That was a long time
But
ago.
uh,
2018. It was January 1st, 7:14 p.m. You want to know Korea time too? I'll tell you exact time they
That
nerfed
still
Molong,
goes-
dude. Anything you gotta know
Still
about
goes to show,
Molong,
like,
bro.
my
I know,
point,
bro.
right?
Just ask me, bro. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. I mean,
Where is
that's
yours?
go ahead.
But
Sorry.
no, Tyler, I agree with what you're saying. I'm more so just my point isn't that I don't know if they are satisfied with the meta or not. And my question is, if they are satisfied, I feel like they shouldn't be with the kind of feedback people have been giving. The fact that, you know, like Gani Hathor is still prevalent since like season 1. We've talked about it before. Not just Gani Hathor, but some of these, you know, RNG units like Antares, for example. People have really vocalized the hatred for that unit and its mechanic. There's not been any touch to it, and it's almost been a year now since they made the change to him. Things like that, you know, Verd Revenge. People have been complaining about Verd Revenge being an issue for a while. No mention of Verd being touched or any possible change. These are just a few of the examples of like their silence. I'm not sure if it's a no or like they're going to do it in the future. But if they're going to do it in the future, just be vocal about it so that way people don't get more and more frustrated about feeling ignored.
But that
Not
also
like-
goes into like my first point, right? It's like if they say something, then they like are held liable for what they've said, right? What
I
if
don't
they
think so.
what
I
if they
think
want to
that
change
is
these
about-
things? I think that's naive to think that way. That people won't hold them
Look at-
accountable for saying that. If a developer note came out saying right now that they don't believe that Verd and Revenging is like interacting as it should be, and we want to make a change to that. If they don't change it for the next 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, then everyone's gonna get mad. Everyone's gonna be like, "This is bullshit. Why have you dealt with this? Why haven't you dealt with this?
I wouldn't.
You said you were gonna make a
I
change.
wouldn't feel that way.
You wouldn't, but I think the community would, because I think that
I don't know. I think that that's an overgeneralization. I think that maybe there would definitely be the people that get upset because they feel like they're being overpromised. But again, they don't have to say it in a definitive way. All I'm asking is just for, you know, you can be transparent without locking yourself into a corner. Just say we're examining this, and that's all they have to do.
people take that out of context. This is 2020. We've been around for 5 years watching this. People
People
do
are
that,
idiots.
literally.
People are idiots, man.
I mean, yes, exactly. That's why I'm so confused. Like, why you don't think people would be like that?
You gotta just
right? D-Hole.
You gotta
Remember
make the
when
best
D-Hole was
of it.
announced?
I agree. People are
Do
idiots.
you remember
Yeah,
when World Boss having different
I'm an
elements
idiot.
was announced?
Yeah, but people are. My point is, people are gonna do that shit regardless, no matter what the, you know, no matter what it is. People are gonna be unreasonable. But I feel, in general, the positive people in this community will appreciate, will appreciate more transparency from the company because we like the game and we like feeling in the loop and we like knowing what to expect in the future. Or I don't know, I feel like it'd be more exciting or less
Okay.
feelings of the meta or the game is stagnant.
Yeah, I like the difference in opinions you guys have here. You guys bring up really good points, both of you, for sure. Definitely.
I really liked your positive optimism with this. I really do. Like, don't get me wrong. I would prefer to think like that, given that's the opportunity, and that's the way we should think. But I'm reluctant to look at it that way because I've seen how like people treat these games all the time. We've been treated like that all the time. You know, we say that we're looking into doing something, and people will hold us like, you know, we said we were going to promise to give them $1,000 or something.
Right.
It's just like. I guess really what it comes down to is like I can't imagine them changing that because it's worked for them so well for so long, right? I think that Korean companies well live by the if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
What I know about esports,
I get
games
your
is
side. I
They
get your
have
point.
Go
beta
ahead, Chris.
servers,
Go ahead.
alpha servers, where people get to try things out before something comes out. That's what I know about esport games.
Right.
And Summoners War is supposed to be an esport game, but something just comes out that's really stupid without anybody testing it first. Is there a possibility to have a beta server on a mobile game?
See, that's what
Is
I
that
was.
even possible?
That's what I was wondering too. I've always suggested this, and I'm gonna keep suggesting it. Special League. Like, let's fuck up in Special League. You know what I mean? Like, let's do the little patches or changes or testings, right? You know, all the times that they made us do the pre-ban stuff, and it was just literally regular RTA but pre-ban. Like, why not throw like a weird change to certain units that they're testing in the Special League, right? If they want to gut Hathor, like, let's try it out in Special League and then see how it goes, right? Because you can do all the testing you want, but until things are released live, it's hard to see. And that actually would get people excited for Special League. So I think that could be their little test server. Is every, season they got like 2, maybe they can extend it to 4 weeks of, testing of like a small balance patch into only Special League. I want to see that, man. I really want to see that.
Having a public test realm will also show that CompToUs is not all talk, but they also listen to the community as well, because they're not having like their staff try the moves. They're having all the Summoners War players try the moves. It's like, oh, is the ragdoll nerf too big? Then everybody could test it and see, like, they could see the community's response in PTR. I mean, we live in 2020. A lot of games already figured out that public test realm is the way to go, and it will also solve a lot of these problems where we're like, are they listening to us? Is this game going to be headed towards the right direction?
Right. I don't know how hard it would be for them to make a server though, like a totally new server. Let's say tens of thousands of people want to join it just to try to test.
It doesn't have
something.
to be for everybody. They can have a hand.
Well, maybe just content creators. You say maybe you have to apply for it then.
Okay, so I think there's a couple issues with the idea of a test server.
Okay.
And don't get me wrong. Before I start this, because I'm disagreeing with a lot of things.
No, it's good. I mean, if we don't have somebody to kind of disagree on stuff, it would just be like a shitty podcast in my opinion. So I don't mind it at all. I'll be honest. I don't mind it at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I agree with you. I do want something like that to be an opportunity. But I want to put the realistic perspective out there. If you were a random consumer, why would you play the normal game when you can play on the test server and have anything you want?
No, but the test server is not like for everything you want. The test server is still locked down to your account, but except it's post buff. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Okay. So why would I play on the test server if I could be getting progression on my main account?
So then those people could test. Those people could just focus on getting progression, and the people that are more focused on RTA could focus on having fun in PTR.
You know what would be so.
Do you think that's good for the game though? Because that's like, it doesn't feel very authentic, and there's like a really strong bias in that sense.
A lot of games already started it, so I don't see why it'll be bad.
Yeah, maybe you have to apply. Maybe you have to apply.
Suggestion. Oh, sorry, Brian.
No, I was just gonna say maybe you have to apply then. Like a certain amount of people get the test server, and if anything, I mean, I think CompToUs has really shown that they care about the community, they care about the content creators that they have in their community, and they want more content creators as well because they did the Summoners War Idol and stuff like that. So maybe like I don't know if I want to say exclusive, but maybe have it exclusive for the content creators to make content out of it, something new to watch, something new to see and share with the entire community. I think that could be a start, right? Whether they make it a full-on public server for everybody to access would probably be like step number 2. What would you think?
So there's a couple other things that go along with that too, right? It's like, if you want to talk about like balance patches, right? It's like, okay, what happens if you get selected and you don't have those units? Then what?
No, it would just be a test server with test units. Like it's not your own account. Yeah, it's just to test the units. Where I could be like, hey Thompson, let's hop on the test server. Let's try out the new Hathor, dude. Like I'll use Hathor to draft.
Then how does like, okay, are you saying the servers are limited or not limited? Is it open to everyone or not?
Limited first. I don't know if opening to everybody would be something
after. You have like extreme bias and your results just become shitty. Right? Because either it's going to be like limited to like, let's say all G3 players, right? And then it's strictly G3 bias. Or if you would say 1,000 players that play RTA, but then like what's your demographic?
I think what they would use it for is like they would take players that, obviously understand the game, and then we'd play it, and then what they would take in terms of the data is they would actually have all the replays of us playing it, because I'd like to believe that the dev team goes through RTA matches, they take statistics, they go through RTA matches, and they watch, right, and they make the decisions whether it's great or not. They look at the matches. So by having people doing those PvE matches on the private server, they get more data from that and be able to deduce, hey, this is a good unit for the balance patch, or this is what we see would be great, because they got to do the testings themselves then. right? So now they have
So-
us to kind of do the testings, which would be interesting.
There's another inherent issue with like having test servers is like
Okay.
unless you have people that are really competitive in the test server, because there's no rewards, right? There's absolutely no rewards in the test server. So like how many people are going to be influenced to actually play to the highest competitive level and not just try the things that they want to test out, right? Because you have to take that into account as well. You can
There
test these
are a lot
forever
of rewards for doing the public test realm.
to a G3 player who has a lot of
Yeah.
those units, and that's
Yeah,
it.
it's more of a
No,
it's more of a
it's
personal
just
game,
Like
right?
the reward comes down to the people who are like extremely competitive or the people that have those units that want to use them.
I mean, for me, even if I don't have the units, I'd like to
I,
test them
I
and
don't
use
think
them.
so. I don't see where you're going with this, Tyler, in a way where it's like when you think about it, having a like I don't have all the units, but imagine I'm in the public test server and I'm using my account and I'm trying things out
It
and I'm
wouldn't be your
playing
account,
against
though.
someone with those units are testing it out. Then I could be like, whoa, man, they make Hathor really bad because even this unit, wrecked that unit. Then I have a head start before other people, right?
But what I'm trying to bring it back to is if these are the things that you want to tackle in a test server, why do we need a test server? Why can't we just do like Brian wanted? Like we've asked for like months where we just have them test those things in Special League, right? That's literally what we're asking for. You just want it on a test server.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, we
Special
could do
League
it
would
on
be
Special
nice.
League. We could do it in. Oh, sorry, Brian.
No, I was gonna say Special League is kind of nice, but I thought about it as well. You can't get the full implementation because also the unit can be used in PvE, right, and other content like Guild Wars too.
Yeah.
And we can't really test that. So someone said it in the chat as well. So I was like, oh, okay. So maybe test server might be the way then. But I still keep that though. A Special League should still be something you guys do stupid stuff in. Like not I don't know, a balance patch or some kind of special rules. You guys need to do something in Special League. Come to us. Like fuck up on it. You know what I mean? Like have some fun with that. That's what we still want. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Did you answer the question as well, Thompson, on what you thought of the video? Like, if you could ask them some questions, what would you want to know? Like, what would you want to like hear from them?
I'm pretty much on the same page as Verse in this. I think me and him both did not watch the video, and so we're coming from a point of view where we didn't watch the video.
Okay, they just
Exposing Thompson.
they just kind of like explain more details on like decision making, how everything kind of works in their office. That's what they did with that video. But I guess the question I have for you is that what kind of questions would you ask them, and then maybe they would make a video and answer in the future. Like, what do you want to know, right? If
Yeah, I
you were
think
curious.
having that open conversation and open idea from like us viewers and us players from the dev team is awesome. I mean, we're controlled by social media almost right now, right? So it's really cool. Like if they could communicate with us, then we'll take any communication we could get.
Right. Okay.
If I post the video in your chat, will I get banned?
Yeah. Let me I'll get the video for the chat right here.
I know.
Okay, thank you.
I'll just stop this real quick because I
People,
posted
people
it.
keep asking what the
Earlier-
video is.
Earlier, Andrew was talking about Antares and Verd Hill, and I want to talk about that later on.
Oh, sure.
Sure.
I didn't mean
sure,
to
sure.
like into buff nerf, but
So yeah, great topic. I mean, like, I think Comp just did a good job with that video. I don't know if, like, honestly, that video, they did a lot of editing. So I hope they don't, like, think that, oh, I'm asking for another video with, like, that kind of edits. I just want, for me personally, I just want more videos that it's kind of fun, right? Seeing the Comptos office makes us understand more, you know, where they're working. Maybe they don't have to share all the secrets or tell us everything that they're going to release or whatnot, but, you know, more transparency. Like, let's just feel closer to them, you know? I like that. I don't know. It was entertaining for me. I enjoyed the video. I actually thoroughly enjoyed the video, so I really just hope that they continue that series and do more of that. All right, moving on to the next topic here. Before we get into like whatever buffs, nerfs, and units that you guys want to discuss, I kind of have a random topic here. It was kind of brought up from Tyler, and I thought it was kind of fun one. What are some of your monster name pronunciations? Yeah, some of the difficult ones. Let's kind of talk about that because it seems there's certain units in this game where we have different pronunciations for. So, did you make a list of any of them, Tyler, that we can kind of go through?
And this actually came up because after podcast a while ago,
Right.
someone was like, "Why do you say Nephthys?" And I said, "Oh, I say Nephthys because Thompson says it." And then I realized I've always said Nephthys.
You're following the wrong person.
I know that's the
Oh, come on.
because it is Nephthys. It's
English is my second language.
Hey, English is my first language. That should be.
It is
Yeah,
Nephthys, but I say Nephthys.
I say Nephthys because that's how the podcast says it. Because I'm the person who, like, if it's like data or pasta versus pasta, I'll say whatever I hear someone else say because it's easier.
No,
for
I
the
know why you say Nephthys. Because you want these nuts. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. Nephthys. Sorry.
Yikes.
Sorry.
Look at Andrew. He
Sure.
completely don't. Damn, Andrew.
Sorry, I just had. Yeah, anyways, just keep going. Just keep going.
The other one that was like really big is how do you pronounce the dark druid's name? I say Pater,
I say
but some people say Peter, and some
say-
people say Patter.
I say a patter, but no Patar. I say Patar. I say Patar when it's not even close to Patar. It's not even an A, but I say Patar. I don't know why.
I say Peter.
The reason I don't want to say Pater is because it sounds like it's a shitty way you're trying to say Peter.
Peter. Griffin.
It's like Pater.
Peter.
Like,
Peter
you're
Griffin.
You're like
Cool
like,
Whip.
you're like almost getting a little like hick. And
What do you think? What do you think is the real pronunciation though? It's Patter. It's
I don't
probably
know
Patter.
I don't know where the origin is from for their names.
Peter. Patter.
It sounds like Dutch.
Huh. All right. What's the next one?
I don't know. John.
Wait, he's
Gene or
muted.
Jan-
He's muted.
Gene
He's
or-
muted. He's
The
muted.
wind lapis.
Fuck my bad. I'm on push to talk. I was pressing T in the chat.
Wait, what was
Tap
it?
it.
Wait, what's the wind one called? Something penis. Ah, lupinus. I call it
Lupinus.
I
lupinus.
say I'm pretty sure it's lupinus.
Lupinus.
Penis.
No, it's lupinus. It's
I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be
lupinus.
lupinus. It's like a wolf.
The LU is silent. That's how the French say it.
Lupinus.
No, the L is silent. That's how the French says it.
Lupinus.
It's just penis.
Just penis.
So it's just penis. what the fuck?
The L is silent.
You guys heard it here.
Pretty
It's
sure
just
it's
penis.
like lupinus.
Lupinus? Yeah, maybe lupinus. Huh.
Like Lupin, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
How about
Lupinus
the water horse? So if you guys don't know the meme on my channel is it's always just called Jimmy. Okay, it's just called Jimmy, just because I trolled the chat and I did Google Translate and then we clicked it and it said Jimmy, which I trolled them. So that's why when you see water horse and you see people call it Jimmy, that's the reason why. That's the whole meme, right? But how do you actually say his name? Kwesepatanov.
Kabesanov.
Wow, impressive.
Kabesanov.
I'm pretty sure it's like Kabesanov.
Isn't it
Close.
Kabesanu?
Kabesanu.
I think that
Kabesanov.
Kabesanov, yeah.
I just call it QB.
Yeah,
Yeah,
people
QB
say
is good.
Kabesanov. Okay, that actually sounds right. We can agree on that one, right? Kabesanov. I think I agree. I agree on that one. A Kabesanov. Yeah,
All right, what about the wind druid? Is it Tyrannus? Is it Tyrannus? Is
Oh,
it
yeah.
something
Tyrannus.
else? I say
fucking birds.
Tyrannus. What did you just say?
He's Tyrannus.
Tyrannus. Because that's exactly what he does. He freaking tears anuses, man. He's a tear anus.
Dude.
That's what he does.
When he violent proc crits your fire units.
No,
Every time.
he's a legit
In the
tear
scope is-
anus. That's
Wait,
his name.
he doesn't have a passive that crits fire? I thought he had a passive
Oh,
that
it
crits
definitely
fire.
is in wild.
He's
it's like-
guaranteed.
Versus everything.
Also, he's guaranteed to proc as soon as he defense buffs. He's a real tear anus.
Oh god. So is it Tyrannus or Tyrannus out of those two?
I say Tyrannus.
I say Tyrannus. Yeah, I say Tyrannus. I don't know why.
I don't know,
Tyrannus.
Tyrannus. I say Tyrannus.
I go Tyrannus, but I'm Chinese, so like leave me alone.
Dude, the more we talk about it, the more I forget what I actually call it. Fuck. Tyrannus.
Tyrannus.
I don't know what I fucking call it. Oh shit.
If you RTA'd more, you'd call it more things.
I mean, I say the name all the time. We talk about it all the time, though, bro. We literally talk all the time, but I can't think about it now because both of them sound like I call them both by that. Huh. All right. What about the?
Yeah, there's a couple ones that are in there.
What about the fire horse? I call it the Nomai.
I don't even know what the name is.
I don't know
Duamatef
its
or
name.
something. let me load it.
Yeah, that thing is probably like harder than the water one, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. Dumatef?
I think it's Duamatef or something.
Duamatuf? Duamatuf?
It looks like it should be Duamatef.
Oh yeah, what about the fire Anubis? Dude, whenever I hear anybody, I've heard a couple people say
You
this
always
though.
make fun of me
No,
when I say
wait. Whenever they say it as cumin. Oh my god, dude. I cannot handle that. I cannot handle it when you call it cumin. When you call it cumin, I'm like, holy shit, I'm hungry as fuck. Bro, how do you call it cumin? You call
Is
it
that
cumin, don't you? You call it cumin. I think you called it cumin, Thompson.
I always call it every wrong name, man. Come on, I told you already, man. Stop making fun of me.
Cumin. Like one time on the podcast, he said cumin, and I just couldn't take it, dude. I just couldn't take it.
It's probably me.
Yeah. So is it what Kamoon or is it cum?
I say
Kamoon.
Kamoon. I say Kamoon.
Is it just cum? Kum? Kum?
Right?
No.
Yeah.
It might actually just be kum, to be honest.
I think the worst one for me is people who call it K-Moon. I'm like, what?
Oh, it actually has an M. Kamoon. Kamoon. Never mind.
Where did we get the K-Moon from? Heard a couple people say that one on their stream before.
They just read the letters nowadays. Yeah, it's M long nowadays. They just read the letter K Moon, right? M long. Yeah. Verde. All right. Any other ones? This was just a fun topic that was a fun
The
one to bring
Water
up.
Fairy King is very difficult.
Samath.
Oh, Samath Samanth, and those are two
Oh,
viable ones.
Pisama.
I'm gonna say
A lot of people call
See,
it
we're just talking
Pisama.
about it. You just read the letter. Like, how does it even
That's
work?
because of YDCB. YDCB.
I like
his name is
Pisama.
Pisama.
Oh yeah. YD started that. That's right. P-Sama. He calls it P-Sama. You're right.
I like Pisama. I
Yeah.
like that.
Wait, but is it actually Samath or Samath?
Probably doesn't make that much of a difference. It's probably like the same.
Really? And then also, did you think
I,
about
don't know,
it?
I
Like,
would say Samath.
I always thought about the Samant. Yeah, I call it
There's no
Samant as
N.
well. Yeah. There's actually
The
a
one
lot
I
of
always use
funny
on
names.
my stream, I use its name a lot, even if I'm not playing against it or I'm using it, is Kating de Shing, because I have no idea how to pronounce it.
Oh, Toss can help you. With
Oh,
that.
that's where you suck. That's where I can make fun of you guys.
Oh,
Oh, you
Is
knew.
it Qitian Dasheng?
I said Kitan de Shang, but that's wrong too.
Oh
Is it
man,
Qitian?
horrible.
Wait, is it Qitian?
Haulano.
Okay,
Huh?
let's.
Is it Qitian?
Oh, you guys are so bad at
All right,
it.
let's hear.
Oh,
Let's hear. it.
I'm disappointed.
These are.
Verz, man. Oh,
I don't know how to say it, man.
I'm disappointed in you guys, man. Oh, you guys all suck.
Okay, so this is the actual Monkey Kings, and I think it's supposed to have Chinese origin, right? Or
It's
whatever. So
I'll
it's
say
not-
once and once only.
Light one.
It's 齐天大圣.
Qi-
Which one's that?
Qi
What?
Ting-
Qitian Dasheng?
Qi Tin Da Sung.
Chitin Dasung.
Oh my
I'm
god.
gonna say one.
What? Dude, I wrecked that name. I call it
Cheating
Kating de
Dasha.
Shing.
How would you play against it? Who uses it? Verz.
Well, they
I
nerfed
use it a lot, and every time I quad stun with it, I just yell Kating de Shing.
Oh, you have it too?
no, I use it on other people's accounts.
Oh. Someone said cheating Samsung. I don't know. It makes me laugh. All right.
Wait, what about the dark one then? Because let's hear them all. Let's hear them all. Because you say them all right. Because all of them are Chinese names.
I'm not gonna say the whole thing, man. It's the dark one is Sun Zhanglao.
Oh, Sun. Okay, so that's close to what people guess. People say Sun Zhang Lao. You know what I mean? But Sun Zhang Lao. That sounds pretty close. Yeah, the other one Xing Zhe.
Mei Hao Wang is normal though, right?
That doesn't sound
Mei
right.
Hao
though.
Wang.
It's Wang.
Mei Hao
Wang. It's Wang.
Do you say Yun Hong?
Oh, I don't know Yang Hong's they call it
I think that's how Jeff told
in
me.
Chinese they call it Lai Chisun, like when they translate it. Yeah.
I thought in Chinese it's like Yun Hong. I don't know. I just tried to do that.
Oh, stop, Brian. Oh my god. Talk about next subject. Can we change subjects?
Oh yeah,
Come on,
just
come on,
please,
this
just
is
please,
fun.
just tell me how to
You just-
pronounce the
like-
water
like,
monkey in
It's
Chinese.
like even in
I
Vietnamese
really
too.
need
You
that.
just do the
Shuho?
intonations. You know what I mean? The intonations. I don't know.
Is it Shuho?
I need the water monkey in Chinese.
Dude, Chinese is so hard,
Shiho.
dude.
Yeah. Ho is monkey. I think it's like Shiho or something like
Dude, Chinese is so hard, dude, because like my friends that are Chinese like have taught me like some words, and like they're like they say like two words sounds exactly the same, but it means two different things. Yeah,
Mandarin or Cantonese though?
I forget, but it's so hard, dude. They have like
This
the
is
little
different.
intonations, like you know, you think I'm joking with the intonations with the whatever, but that makes a big difference, like on the freaking word, man. It's so hard?
Is it Feng Yan? How do you say it?
that.
I hear people say it differently if it's Mandarin or Cantonese.
Oh, this became real fun here. This became real fun with Thompson in the middle of the spotlight.
It's called Feng Xiong Mao. No one calls it Feng Yan in Chinese. They don't call it by that name.
Wait,
Oh,
really?
okay.
Hey,
Yeah,
what
they just
is
call
the
it Wind
difference
Panda.
between the two?
Oh, they call it Wind Panda. They don't even go
Yeah,
by the
Feng Xiong
name.
Mao. Yeah.
Oh, it's interesting. Wow, they have totally different names then. Interesting, because I know you talk to Tiger sometimes, right? And like in Chinese, and you guys are discussing. So you guys would call those units by those names like that then.
Yes.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
Do you call all the pandas like that?
Yes. All the pandas. Guang Xiong Mao, An Xiong Mao, 火球
Oh,
猫.
that's cool.
Oh, so it's like panda element. Ah, okay. Oh, we learned something new today. Yeah, that was actually a good topic. That actually got more than I thought I'd get from that
Garbage
topic right
fresco.
Okay,
there.
whatever.
That was great, dude. What do you mean,
Okay.
whatever?
I
That was
thought it was
awesome.
fun. I mean, it's interesting to like lighten up the podcast a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Random fun topics.
What do you mean? Our podcast is always light, dude. What you trying to say? You trying to say
Yeah.
I'm fat? What the fuck?
No,
dude?
I'm trying to say that I gained
What
weight
the
because quarantine,
fuck,
dude.
dude? You trying
Okay.
to? Holy,
Brian,
bro! I take offense to that, bro.
Brian, have
No, I
you
am
gained weight
fat.
because of quarantine?
That's offensive, man. That is.
Try
don't
to
even-
tell me you haven't
Brian,
gained
we're
weight
not
during
gonna side with
quarantine,
you.
Brian.
Huh? Bro,
Try to tell me you haven't
bro,
gained
they
weight during
ain't no
quarantine.
such thing as quarantine, bro. They just put a title on what I do every day for the last 3 years, my friend. Alright? It's still the same shit I do the last 3 fucking years. They just gave it a fucking title now. Quarantine or whatever you guys call it. It's the same shit, man. Nothing has fucking changed, bro. I'm literally doing nothing different, bro. Except I actually want to go outside more now. It's kind of weird. It's like I'm like a little rebel, you know what I mean? Like, oh, can't go outside? I want to go outside. I went hiking the other week. Yeah, I don't go hiking. I don't know why I want to go hiking.
Social irresponsibility.
Me too. Me
Wow.
too.
Wait, I mean, but you go hiking. There's nothing wrong with that, right? You go out hiking. Nothing wrong with that.
Did you hold your wife's hand?
Huh? No, I went with like a group of like 30 people. It's fine, right? Nah, just kidding. What the hell? You think I have 30 friends? I'm offended again, dude. Look at this. I can go on this for all day. Okay, let's move on to our last topic. Yeah, just open discussion. Yeah, we got about 5-10 minutes left. Yeah, whatever you guys want to bring up. Yeah, last minute stuff here. Go ahead.
So let me talk about this. I've been wanting to talk about this all podcasts. All right. They made Velojewel has always been pretty good, right?
Agreed.
Velojewel has always been pretty good, and then they buffed Velojewel. All of a sudden, Velojewel's cooldown skill is 2 turns now.
Yep.
For Velojewel, there was Eladriel. Eladriel got buffed. Okay,
Coming
Pretty-
Fermion.
everybody knows that Artemil is pretty good. You know, it got nerfed because it's strong. Fermion got touched on because like Fermion's like, whoa, like, you know, second skill does a lot of damage, third skill got better.
I don't see where you're going with this. Okay.
So all of a sudden a new monster comes out, and all of a sudden it has heal.
One.
All of a sudden a new monster come out called Abuelo. It has heal, it has attack bar push, and also it deals more damage in the second move. All right. And then so us aerial players has been very patient. You know,
Us?
we're just patiently waiting.
Us. Yes.
Us?
And there are
Sorry,
a lot
go
of there are a lot of like I love where Comptuous makes like the meta like a rock paper scissors game meta. So I hope they could figure out a way for Ariel to be buffed but counter some of these really toxic fire units that Invictus was talking about, like the Vertihil or the Antaurus. And like some of these buffs could be like when opponent gets a proc or opponent gets a turn, his third skill decreases cooldown or whatever. I don't know, but you can still control it with Danny Hathaway. You can still bottom it with Sierra. But I just want to figure out like what we could do with Ariel, right? Because
Okay.
even if you're a beginning player and you summon Ariel, you're unhappy. Are you going to use it to farm? No. Are you going to use it to Guild War offense or defense? No. So where is the home for Ariel? You
The
know,
only home for Ariel is
You're
pretty
just in a
much
weird
Oh,
spot.
It's just
because,
a
like,
water
the fact-
tank. That's all it is.
Ariel's
Oh,
really
no,
good at
because-
world boss, and that's it.
Go ahead,
Uh-huh.
Invictus. Yeah,
So
you guys-
nowhere.
I was-
right?
The only thing that they really have room to change is like skill 3, and the S2 itself is already pretty underwhelming. The
Still do
S1
get
itself
buffed.
doesn't do
All
anything.
right, yeah, yes.
But yeah, they need to change. I mean, that's all they have to work with, right? Or make it like a passive unit.
I
in some way.
agree. I hope they do something to Ariel to make it interesting. That's very important.
A
For me.
question for the jury. Do you guys
Also,
think...
another thing is, Nyx should retain strip on skill 1.
as his awakening?
Not awakening, just Nyx should retain skill.
So it has to
strip
be an
on skill
awakening
1.
change then. They would have to put into awakening that he awakens into that. What is he awaken
Did
into
you
right
just
now?
pull a Nyx or something?
Huh?
Did you
I was
just
saying,
pull a
did you
Nyx?
just pull a Nyx or something?
No. I didn't pull Nyx, but I've been talking to Firas a lot, and then Firas is like always. He doesn't even say hi, Thompson. He doesn't say good morning, Thompson. He goes, "Where's my Nyx buff, Thompson? Where's my Nyx buff, Thompson?"
I mean, he's
So
a
I
big
have to
Nyx
say it
player.
on
He's a
stream,
first
right?
pick. He's a first pick Nyx player.
Yes.
So
Also,
He's cool.
one more
I
thing.
like his Oracle comps. I mean, not Oracle. I mean, Akoko.
The last thing is, okay, Ragdoll now reflects damage. Jaeger hits you back. Leica hits you back. You know, Leo. Okay, Leo doesn't hit you back, but hopefully Chow has something, a mechanism where he could kind of reflect back a debuff. Would that be kind of cool? Like a Manananan first move or a Poseidon first move?
So instead of his cleanse that he has right now, change it to transfer, random.
Transfer, yeah.
Okay,
But
that's
make
cool.
the cleanse before his turn. That's what we've been asking for too, right?
Yeah, cleanse before turn, like transfer before turn. Oh, that would be so strong.
Yeah,
You would consider
like a
defense
transfer
breaking him, because if you defense break him, you're like, oh shit, he just sets up his own defense
Ooh.
break injustice. Oh shit,
Yeah.
you're right, you're
That'd
right.
be sick. That's like better implementation of that fire sniper.
I mean, it would bring in another water damage dealer. Are we lacking those water damage dealers? I mean,
We are not lacking water
So,
damage.
I mean, but it
There's
does
a
bring
lot.
another water
Plus,
damage healer.
there's a new awaken Bernard, Water Bernard. What's his
Con.
Khan? Yeah, Khan is a pretty decent water damage dealer, right?
2A con is okay.
Man.
I
I
thought
I
wouldn't
haven't
say- I
tested
wouldn't
it out
say
yet,
he's
so
very
I don't
good.
know.
I don't think he's very good for like RTA if that's what you're asking.
Oh, okay. But there's a lot of pretty decent water monsters, but Ariel definitely needs like
A buff.
a buff.
Yeah, his buff was a very long time ago, which was not bad, right? It helped him to like be better on like Nemesis, right, and counter on defense because he can boost your team. But that he did they just left him like that for a while. 'Cause he was
They
way
made
worse.
a new unit with the exact same skill as him, right?
Right.
Right. What?
Yeah, that was the problem with the Tyrannus and Abelio launch. It was like, all right, you just gave us upgraded versions of Elad and Ariel.
Right.
Yeah, but the Tyrannus was very different. It gives you like buffs. You could do it like proactively
it's
or
fun.
reactively, you know?
Wait,
Oh,
they
but that's
took
what I mean.
Ariel. They
Edit.
took Ariel. They made
Edit.
fucking Albert, and then they took fucking Elad, and they made fucking Tyrannus. Like what? They just made like,
Like, I see
upgraded
that-
archangels.
I can justify it. I can see the difference between Tyrannus and Eladriel, but that third skill for Abuelo is just like, wow, it's completely the same, right? It's an attack bar push, heal, and then HP.
So, all right,
Oh.
go ahead, Andrew.
I think they
Good.
need to buff that HP buff too. You know, you gain life each turn, that little heal thing. It's such a bad buff.
Is it that you get life and attack bar, or is it just health?
What? What
Wait,
are
are
we
you talking about Abelio or Ariel?
They both give attack bar and heal.
Okay.
But I'm talking about that buff. That heal buff is so
recovery
bad.
buff. You're saying recovery
Oh,
buff.
okay, okay.
Is it recovery buff
Yeah.
15% per turn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
What if they made it up? I mean, the only thing that I could see is either A, they make a new passive for it, or they change him entirely, Ariel. Other than that, they could only really give him like awaken into heal buff plus. It gives 30% per turn or something, or like a
Stop
I
taking
don't know.
E7 buffs.
extra heal, dude.
You caught him.
Extra heal,
I don't
dude.
know,
this
man,
is
that's
why I'm on the
Ariel-
podcast. I'm here to call Brian out for taking things from E7.
Damn.
Hey man, if there's
Oh,
good
Tyler.
shit from other game, I'ma suggest it, bro. Okay, if it's good shit, I'ma take it. Right, and then I suggest the same shit in E7 if I see it in Summoners War. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just the way it works.
I want them
Just
to
say-
buff
Give Ariel immunity.
direction.
That will work.
I
Then
don't think
he's
they
like,
should
but then he's
nerf Andrew.
Louise.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was saying, Verge was saying give him immunity, but then he's just Louise.
Yeah.
A water Luis.
Oh, another thing about Luis. Oh, I want to talk about Luis. Oh, you got my
Okay.
started. Oh, yes, I'm really happy.
Oh yeah, you were
Anyway,
testing it last week. How'd it go?
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
Luis, let's hear about it.
you great question, Brian. So,
yeah.
win percent with crit damage, Luis, 90%. Win percent with high resistance, Luis, like 95%.
What? Wait, what kind of teams are you drafting?
Also, all right, another thing I want to say about Luis. Okay, I don't think anybody will complain if her immunity is like there's no clause behind her immunity, right? Like 50% life or 0 life. You know, just give them immunity, right?
What I was
She
saying was
gives
that
such a fat, but she gives like a fat heal and a shield too on top of it.
Yeah, but it's 4-turn
So
cooldown, so it's not like Veladril where you get 3. You only got 1 turn. You have 2 turns. You don't have like any protection.
Wait. I gotta say something here. Thompson,
Okay.
I was watching your streams
Yeah.
when you were using Luis. Luis sat there and did literally
You
nothing.
sat there and did nothing.
Nothing.
I
The
figured
rest
that's
of your
probably what
units
happened.
destroyed. I was there. I watched the streams.
It's
man.
like the rest of
Your
the
Luis
comp doing
did
all the work.
nothing.
Exposed,
You
boys.
just bursted his.
You know,
Also,
Pretty
her
good,
first skill needs to absorb attack bar, not decrease attack bar. But it doesn't need stun. because too inconsistent.
Buff
Yeah.
that skill 2, man. Skill 2 of the paladin sucks.
I want to talk a
Make
little
them
bit
feel
more
better.
about Luis. If you guys are all thinking about using Luis, yes, as Thompson, I did overhype it a little bit. But if you guys use Luis, make sure your Sierra goes before the Luis, not after the Luis.
And your Gianna to go before the Luis. That's what you gotta tell them too.
and your Gianna, yeah, just letting you
It's
guys
your
know.
team, Thompson. It's your team.
No,
and
but
your
then no,
rules.
you're-
That's what made Luis
You
work.
need Gianna to go first for the
And then-
strip, and then you need the Nefties after for the defense break, and then Luis. That's not bad. Not bad. The crit damage
Wow.
one, right?
Wow. Okay, fine. If you guys are gonna go there, okay, fine.
What do
I
you
don't
mean
wanna-
go there? You were there.
I
That's why
went
we
there.
And if they start taking turn cycle stuff, just throw
Oh,
in your
fine.
just throw in your
Alright.
Artemil.
I also tested Ethna. She's really, really good. Yes.
Yeah, she's always she's just even better now. That buff was totally unnecessary. They did not
Oh my
need
God.
that. They did not need that on her.
I wish I could get her on Violent, but I have her on Despair set right now, and she's working really well. She's working like a stun machine on Despair.
Imagine Vile, how many
Like,
turns she gets, man. Oh my god.
Yes. Yeah.
To
So
go back to-
Ethna's really good. Luis is. I'm trying to push people to start using her, but I think she still needs a little bit more. Like her skill 3 shouldn't have a clause to it, and her skill 1 shouldn't have a stun. It should just have attack
Absorb.
bar absorb, and should be
Absorb.
a little bit more meta.
Yeah.
Dude, I know this is going back a little bit to the beginning, but do you guys think any of the Beast Riders for regular elements in the top 10 elemental unit? I think Barbara's probably top
Barbara
5.
100%.
Oh, just
I
Barbara.
think, I think Barbara's top 5, Savannah's top 10, or like the bottom of top 10 maybe, and then Masha's like down the list.
Savannah is definitely not bottom of top 10 or not even top 10 at all.
I don't
I
think
was
she's
gonna
It's
say-
so
like-
Regular
I feel
element
like
units. Regular elements.
For me to be on the top 10, you have to pick that unit, but not give the opponent any like once you pick Savannah, the opponent
People
knows
know
what you're doing.
drafting.
Yeah. But then
or they can counter pick too, like right away.
yeah, what Invictus said. But yeah, for me, Savannah is not top 10. But Barbara's top 10. Yes.
You think she's good enough to be top 5?
Barbara.
Gani Hathor. Okay. Sierra, Vanessa.
Gani and Hathor are like 1 and 2, or do you mean in no particular order?
I guess 1 and 2. Yeah, like Gani Hathor. No, she's not top 5. No, because Daphnis.
Yeah, she's not top 5 either. Mo Long. You're right.
I think Daphnis is definitely top 5 for me.
This is gonna sound
Brandis.
crazy, but I think Bastet is probably one of the best regular element units in the game right now for RTA. I think I'm almost willing to put Bastet at like number 2.
For what
Almost.
level of?
I know
For what level? Yeah.
What?
because of the flexibility in draft order.
I mean,
You pick Bastet.
It does
There's a lot
go
of
into a
different
lot
ways.
of comps.
Me and Andrew right here are very confused. I can see both of our faces the same. Verse, come on, man. Show some.
I don't know what to say about a Bastet, man. I don't want to like
Bastet's
be
kid is
harsh
just,
to Tyler, but what the fuck is a Bastet in top 10, man?
no, you don't think Bastet's
It's okay. It's
top
okay.
10
Let's hear it.
in regular RTA? You don't think Bastet's
No.
a top 10 RTA unit?
Only if you're cleaving. Only if you're cleaving. That's it.
Yeah, it really
I would never
we
pick
see
a
it a lot,
Bastet
though.
in a
We-
non-cleave
I mean, there's a
team.
difference, though. We see it a lot. A lot of
I think
people
you
run
can-
Bastet. Yes, a
The
lot of
thing
people
is,
run
there's so
Bastet.
many units now that you can pick with Bastet that you don't necessarily have to cleave. Like, there's so many good options, right? To that be like, those kind of damage units are just like well scaled right now, and she like fits well into the late game too.
Don't worry.
And her
You bring
shield
the
doesn't get
Bastet.
nerfed.
I bring the Barbara. You bring the
Okay.
Bastet.
Bastet has 4 debuffs, has a 3-turn attack buff with a shield that doesn't get nerfed over time.
I'll tell you this: if you give Bastet 6 more base speed, she's going to
Yeah.
be top 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
she's really
Wow,
slow
just
with
like
the
That's a lot of
Yes.
speed. You're giving her a whole max roll of speed.
That's
and
why the only
saying
reason
that's
is
my
just-
opinion,
I,
man.
I lay by it. Yeah.
Yeah, she just loses
Jesus.
to other units because of the base speed. That's pretty much it. Like we all know she's great. She does. She enables so much. She enables so much, man. As well as
Like some of the cleave is just like, okay, you just got faster runes, you could just sit over people like that, but not everybody have that speed.
I'm just not running. I pick Bastet every game now, but I'm not running.
I do think if your Bastet is like, okay, 315 to 320 Bastet, you have, a good Bastet and you can use Bastet a lot. But do I think she's number 2? No.
Maybe not number 2. That's pretty unrealistic.
I'll
Maybe
tell you
more
about a
like
unit.
bottom of 5.
I'll tell you about a unit that's definitely in top 5. That is definitely very broken. That is definitely very busted and has to be nerfed. Also, I do have one, so I'm not being biased here. Tyrannus. That is a very, 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 very broken unit.
Wow. Top 5 Tyrannies? No.
Thompson. I want to say top
Tyranny's
2.
too stationary to be top 5.
You know
Like
why? It doesn't
Yes.
beat Thompson, and Thompson saying it's stationary is because he's so fast. Thompson, it's people have these other problems where I mean, I
Have you
I don't
seen Verse?
Well,
Verse just
because
like
Thompson
he just
can
waves
pick
his
the
big
Arda and
dick
then
like,
not have to
oh,
fight
we're gonna
Arda
outspeed
Tyrannus.
you with Chiho and like Hathor. Yeah, Verse
Thompson,
outspeeds you
Tyrannus
too.
does anything. Tyrannus
3-turn
does
defense buff is
everything you
impressive.
want.
yeah.
You know,
Everything
it's,
you want.
it's great when you can fight the Tyrannus because you can take the Artemil away from the guy before he picks it. Like,
I think it's more just the fact that the Tyrannus is never going to move when he goes against it, or it's going to be reset.
I think Tyrannis is very you guys are all saying it right except for me, the pronunciation. But anyway, like Okeanos, Ganymede, stuff like that, the segment are really good against Tyrannis, right?
I mean, there is a big
Giannis.
counter to it. Like the biggest counter is just picking it. You know what I'm saying? Like shit, I should get one.
Oh
too.
my god, it's not that good. You have to pick it like that.
Yeah, just, pick it, dude.
Well, yeah, you can't. I mean, you can't take it. You can't take it early, or else people take the resets, like Thompson was saying, or they just.
Nah, fuck
take
them, dude.
control.
I'd rather play the reset than play against the fucking Tyrannies, dude. Hate that shit. You gotta think so much, man. I don't like when you gotta draft and think too much.
It's just he does way too much damage. That's the problem. The wild blow does way
Yeah,
too.
the wild
He
blow is-
defense buffs himself and then nukes the shit out of something.
and
That's
he
just
heals.
way too much.
And he heals from
He
it too.
and he revives.
It gets
It's just
40%.
and he stuns with
40%
skill 1. There's
damage.
just so much he has. Like this is a unit that has way too much.
And when you're in beast form, you take less damage per hit.
But
Up to 5 times.
better than Speed Lead, better than Gani Hathor.
It's more so when he's applicable. If somebody's like doing any kind of nuke or cleave team versus you, he all of a sudden becomes relevant and does his job like super well.
In fact, I don't even think it counters Daphnis that well.
It's good enough that people first pick it though. Like that's kind of
Counters Daphnis. It's really good if people like some of those one-shot cleavers. They take the Triana. So if you have Tyrannus, you can still go Vanessa Tyrannus.
Yeah, it's a good second option. But like when you think about it, like if you pick Daphnis Hathor, you still could take care of the Tyrannies in your own way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Thompson,
Yeah.
why I'm hating it so much is because I played against people like Skit, for example. He drafts first pick Gani Hathor. After that, it's Chiwu Tyrannus. Do you know how toxic this is? All these together.
Yeah,
Yo.
Gani Tyrannus is hard to.
Gani Hathor, Chiwu Tyrannus. Do you know
Dude,
how
you know what's more
toxic that
toxic?
team
I think
is?
the problem there isn't the Tyrannies. The problem there is the Chiwu. Chiwu is a pretty good unit right now because of the speed lead.
She's
and
pretty good.
people, if you just put your old Tiana runes on Chiwu with more accuracy, it's like, whoa, Chiwu's so
I
good.
think people sleeping on
Or you-
Chiwu right now.
No one's sleeping on Chiwu. No one's sleeping. Everyone knows how good.
The majority of the population is sleeping on Chiwu. I've been seeing a lot of more high top level players. They're bringing it out. They're playing it. I see people draft it, but like a lot of people still have that same thing in their mind on Chiwu. You know, that it's not as crazy as it is right now.
It's very good. Yeah. What were you gonna say, Andrew?
Oh, I was saying, would you seriously have you seriously put your lore runes on Chiwu? I would imagine you would probably do that, right?
What
Or are you
runes
still
on
using
Chiwu?
Laura? Are you still using Laura as opposed to Chiwu, or?
My Laura was never on Swift. Yeah, it's on Swift like for one day. That's it.
Okay, so you do a Swift Chiwu, not Despair.
I
or
do,
Violent or
absolutely.
anything.
100%.
You know what's OP, Thompson? Kraka
What's OP?
Tyrannies. So
Wow, you're coming at him.
just try it out a couple times, dude. Let me know.
All right.
Let me
Try that out.
Try it out, just for fun, You know what I mean? Be that toxic, always reviving toxic guy. Yeah, try it. Try it.
Kraka's really bad unit, man. Yeah, I can't. If I can't make it work, it's hard to make it work, man.
You have to try harder, dude. You try harder. I want to see you make it work.
Thanks.
What do you guys think of the new point system?
I could go over
I like
that.
it.
I mean, it's better. Like we got a lot of what we asked for, right? Didn't we? We said that we didn't want super high point inflation. We said that we didn't want people that could just spam wings and climb, and that would be all. Maybe I don't know. I feel like it's pretty balanced right now. Maybe they could tone it down a tiny bit, but I think that it did the job that people are asking for. The only issue is like the matchmaking, right? It's more so the matchmaking, not the
I
point
agree.
system now.
I agree.
But I think you talked about this on your last podcast on Friday, didn't you? It was more about the fact that maybe less people are queuing because of the point system. And since less people are queuing, that creates these bigger discrepancies. And you're more likely to have these matchups where you stand to lose more because you're not fighting people near your rank
right.
if you're like high up.
But like it's because like we had the biggest complaint last season of having to do 30 wings, right? And then now they make the point system where the top players. I mean, I feel like do you think like the top of the top actually has to do all their wings all the time then, or they kind of just do wings dependent as people are moving, right? Because when you're doing wings, you do 30 wings, you might not gain. That's why, because of the potential
I think they
loss.
have
Dude,
to.
top
I think
100,
they still
top
have to.
100 has been like in the 2K range. Like the bottom of top 100 has been like 2K for like
Yeah, they're like
the whole-
sitting. They're sitting a lot more, right, than they should have last season. I mean, last season was also 2 weeks longer, but I mean, how much points was top last season? Like 4K,
top 100.
We also, I'm pretty sure it's also a shorter season. I want to mention that.
right?
in
But
the
2 weeks,
preview.
2 weeks is only
but
going to
I'm-
shorten it by a little bit. A couple points.
It's 4 weeks shorter, I think. I think
4
it's almost
weeks?
an entire month shorter. Yeah, because we're February to April, aren't we?
Usually RTA seasons are about 3 months. This is about
I'm
Two
pretty sure
weeks.
this.
It's definitely not 4
I'm
weeks.
pretty
It's
sure
maybe
this season's 9 weeks, isn't it?
It's maybe like 2 weeks shorter.
yeah. People are speculating that it's 2 weeks shorter because we had the 2 additional weeks of special league. That's what people are saying.
I mean, even still though, like the fact that in the past the G3 threshold, like the floor was like 2,500 is what it got up to before they made the change.
Right. And
And
what is
now
it
top
right now?
100 top 100 floor is 2K. So it's like
Yeah, 500 less.
but that 2,500 was like just to get G3. 2,000 is like to get top 100. So it's really significant.
Yeah.
So you could like if you have it's all about your win rate. If you have like a really high win rate, you could not do wings for a lot of the season. Just in the last couple weeks, you can play.
Yeah, if you
fine.
keep your win rate super high, you can do super minimal wings technically. Even if you're at the top and you're only climbing 3-4 per, as long as you're not lucid, man, you're kind of doing okay. But yeah, I do agree with the matchmaking issue there. Hopefully, we can dabble a little bit more onto this on future podcasts as well, because matchmaking needs to be changed so then you don't have the big discrepancies. Because I see people, they queue up, man, they're like G3 and like they get like 3-4 points, and then you get that G1 or that C3, and then you lose 12 if you lose that. It's just you can't move. It takes 3 more matches to get back to where you were. It's pretty tilting, yeah. So
I know I see
agree with
people in the chat talking about the farming thing in like lower ranks. Can they just? I mean, we talked about this before. Can they just simply put in a patch, like just a quick patch? You can't fall below if you were anywhere in Guardian. You can't fall below like, let's say if you were in G1 or up, you can't fall below like C3 or G1.
Okay, but that doesn't stop the
That
people
is-
who just want to farm and not get a rank. Because there are a lot of people who farm and just don't want to rank. All they want is points.
Right,
But I mean, at
he's
least
just
that
saying
keeps you
people
that-
that never hit the highs. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that like C3 max, even though their account's like G1, and they're just farming because they never really cared about RTA. So what I was saying last week was just to implement something that a lot of other games already implemented, like more of an MMR system where it's based upon how many matches you've done, right? So the more matches you do, obviously the harder it is now. Like depending on your win rate, it's gonna be harder for you to gain points. So if you're tanking and you've done like 500 matches and you're like a 50 win rate, and you're a G2 player, but you're farming to like C1, bro, end of the season, good luck in hitting your G1, dude, or even G2. Like, good luck. The amount of point gain that you're going to get is going to be significantly lower. Now, depending on, what that point system is going to be, I don't know. But some kind of thing like that would be very interesting. Yeah.
I think Comtois doesn't see the gravity of how it's doing RTA is important, and a lot of people are quitting RTA because of these people that just stay, in Conquer farming points. So I hope like Comtois could really realize like how much is pushing people that love RTA to stop doing RTA.
Yeah.
It's important that a lot of people do RTA, or at the end of the day, no one's going to queue into matchmaking, and we'll have like 50-minute queues for matchmaking,
Right. I agree. They need to do something. There could be a variety of factors that they can bring in to make RTA a lot more entertaining for people and get more people to play for sure. Yeah. All right, guys. Very solid podcast today. Yeah, definitely a little longer one. No, I don't think it's been our longest podcast though, but solid one. Yeah, I talked about the Beast Riders. Yeah, talked about some of the things that we want to see in the future from ComToUs and maybe hear from them. And then we finished off with kind of discussing some of the unit names as well as some open discussion here. So very nice podcast. Thank you guys for taking the time to join me. We'll continue these on this coming Friday. We got another podcast set up for Friday. So look forward to that. If you guys are watching from YouTube, make sure you guys hit that sub, hit that like, and leave that comment down below. The comment section has been getting really heated, real nice. So leave your comments down below, and I'd like to read them. Yeah, everything you got to put down there. So yeah, it's been fun. Thank you guys for joining me today. Appreciate it very much.
Enjoy your April Fool's transmogs, guys.
Oh, yeah, true. I realized that today when I was doing Guild Wars. I was like, what the heck? Got some of those transmogs. All right, guys. Peace out.
All right, see you guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
See ya.
Thanks for having us.
Peace.